Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second week.
Yeah, we appreciate all the support we've been getting. We're just really excited to see what the Lord does, and yeah, just continue to post for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it can only get better from here,
Yeah, let's
you know.
see.
And we pray, and our continued prayer is that just as Jesus did, that we seek out the one. That if we can just move the needle for one person to get closer to the Lord, or even if that's just one of us get closer to Him, then that's a success.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate it. We really thank you. And so for this week, we're going to keep on the series that we were talking about trying to become more like Christ.
Mhm.
Because I believe when the Lord wants to change you, one of the first things that he'll change is your group of friends, who you hang out with, who you associate yourself with,
Mhm.
right? That's the first when transformation is forming, that is one of the things he's going to transform first. But with that, there's a struggle. And we all know that struggle.
Mhm.
And that's what we're going to talk about today, is trying to navigate friends from the crowd.
Cool.
But before we get into there, let's open up with prayer and then we'll dive right in. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for everything you blessed us with. I pray that this time will be a time where we just get to hear you and learn more about you and help us to understand that maybe the people we're hanging around with aren't the people you want us to be with. And if there's someone out there that is struggling to find friends or one true friend, that they know that you are there for them and you are their friend, and help them bring people to their life. We love you and praise you. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so you kind of want to first start off with,
Yeah, like what you said in the prayer, you said if you're looking for a friend, so Jesus show up, right? And I think we all need friends, right? But the most important friend we could have is Jesus.
yeah.
Actually reminds me of the Brandon Lake song, right? He says, "Well, what a friend we have in Jesus," right?
Yeah, I mean, you can get a little behind it.
But I think that's so important because he will kind of equip us and help us become a friend that we want, and
Yeah,
we'll attract like the same type of people, uh, like-minded people, should I say?
yeah, because you attract who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's so true in dating relationships, but on any type of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So that is exactly true. If we have a goal and we're trying to be like Christ, we will attract that. But if we're not, we'll attract the opposite.
Right.
And think about this. Back in the day, how easy was it to make friends? And I'm talking about being like little back in the day.
Yeah, I felt like there was all you wanted to do was you saw someone, you're like, hey, that's kind of a cool shirt. Hey, it's a Spider-Man shirt? I like Spider-Man. Let's go be best buds, And we weren't worried about anything else. We just wanted to go play.
Exactly. And that was it. And that's the person that you would go back and be like, hey, mom and dad, I just made a new friend. Oh, really? What's their name? I didn't get their name, but they're my best friend.
They like Spider-Man.
They like that's hey, they like me, I like them. And now we look at today, especially when you get a little older, it is so hard.
Yeah, I think there's so many things, right, that we worry about in friendship.
Right? Like one of the first things that pops in my mind is I don't know if it's just maybe people have always been like this, but maybe it's just been more noticeable because we're growing up.
No.
It's people are fake.
Oh,
What's that line from Vance Joy? And what was that, Riptide?
oh yeah. All my friends are turning green. It's a good bar actually, because if you have a fake chain, I don't know if you guys know this, it starts to turn green.
Yeah. And your neck,
So
you're not turning into the hole.
you ain't turning the hole. You got a low green there.
Yeah. And just like that is a huge thing nowadays. Is people are fake.
Yeah.
They only. It's like it could be a transaction.
Right. They try to see, okay, what can I get out of him? or
Mhm.
her, you know? What's in the best for me, right?
Oh my, or the people that want you to do well, but
Mm,
just not better than
not
them.
better than that. Right.
I think we've all unfortunately had friends like that.
Yeah.
And well, we look at this, right? And a common phrase that you hear is when you're also, you need to remember that there's certain friends for a certain season for your life. Like I can't even remember, or I can't tell you the last time I've talked to an elementary friend.
That's true. Yeah, I have. Don't
Good
know.
friends at the moment,
At the time.
but for a season.
Mm.
And so people can be like, dude, but we go way back. Remember, we used to do the same things. We used to love doing this. And it's so important that just because you go way back with them doesn't mean you have to go way forward with them.
Mm. Yeah, true.
Because,
Like that.
right, because if they're not the people that you want to be, and they're not living, let's say, a godly life.
Mm. Yeah, that actually reminds me of I think it was on TikTok or some social media, and I came across this clip of this pastor. His name was like Grant Patrick or something like that.
Okay.
And he said the people you run with determine the direction you run in. And I thought, man, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, show me who your friends are. I'll show you who you are.
Ah,
And ultimately, well, first off, like we talked in the beginning, you have to know who you're running to or where you're running.
right.
And then ultimately, what's that line? If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
And this is an important topic that we see time and time again in the Bible. But I think we all can agree there's a struggle. It's hard to find good quality friends in life, people who are truly rooting for you to win. And once you make that transition, when you decide to give yourself to Christ, it is hard.
Yeah, it's hard, like the word says we're supposed to be on the narrow path.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that comes with, you're trying to make new friends, or I guess hang out with your old friends, right? Before you were a believer. And you can sort of feel, I don't want to say like ashamed, but maybe a little embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because they make you feel like, oh man, here comes the Jesus freak, right?
Yeah, yeah. Why are you so better than us now?
Yeah.
You were doing this not too long ago, but now because you want to live better, you want
to go to church now.
Yeah, now you're different.
Yeah, that's not cool. But I think it's important that we realize a lot of times we shouldn't try to dim our light that we have inside. Just because we're afraid we might blind someone.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Hey, we gotta.
They turn
light
on
them up.
Yeah, light them up. Just kidding.
But I think that's what we're called on this earth to be. To make disciples. And I know it feels like we can get afraid to do that. I know I get afraid. But it's important.
Well, it says in the Bible, what use is it to put a lamp under something? Because what's the purpose of a lamp or a light?
Right, we got to light it up, illuminate the room.
Exactly. It's there for a reason. It has a certain purpose.
Right.
But if you cover that, you're not only hurting yourself because you're dimming yourself, you're hurting others. And so, yes, there's this problem of trying to navigate friends. But thank the Lord there's an answer. And so we have a few verses that we'll like to go over and talk about. But first off, if our ultimate goal is to be like Christ, he displayed a different thinking of friends that maybe some don't think about. So real quick, I'll explain. Jesus separated his friends. He separated them in 3 groups. And I like to think of them as the 3 C's. The first is a comrade. And this is someone who shared the same mission as Jesus, was kind of wanting what he wanted, but ultimately something better came up and so they went a different path.
Mm.
Prime example, Judas. Right. They were on the same mission and they were on the same path for a while, but then he kind of was a sellout.
Yeah, he was kind of just trying to see whatever was good for him at that time.
Correct. And then the next phase was a colleague. And a colleague was someone that you work with, you're a little closer with, you spend more time with, you may see each other outside of work hours, you guys are closer. And we can look at these as the other 8 disciples.
Okay.
As they were close with Jesus and they broke bread with him, and ultimately they died for him. Right? So they were close. But then there was another 3 that were super close to Jesus. And this is what I like to call a confidant. This was Peter, James, and John.
Right.
These were his ride or dies.
Yeah, those were his boys.
These are his boys. These are the ones that he would separate. They knew what he was going through. Jesus would talk to them separately. They had that really strong relationship. So in life, we may fall into that trap of not understanding who falls into what category. We may mistaken a confidant for a comrade. That we think they're in our inner circle.
And like you brought up earlier about the seasons.
Correct, yeah.
You know, and maybe in your mind, you're like, okay, that is my ride or die. That is my, would you say confidant?
Yeah.
But maybe just in that season.
Mm-hmm.
They're there, then maybe a month or 2 goes by, nowhere to be found.
Exactly. And this is, you get into trouble. And they say they're with you, hey, you're my boy, you're my girl, I'm with you to the end. Things go bad, they're the first ones to run. And so to understand that you can't give yourself, and an important exercise, I got this from Simon Sinek, I think I'm saying his name right. He does an exercise every once in a while. And what he does, he kind of goes away and he silences himself. And what he does is he'll stop communicating with some friends just to see if they're putting in as much effort as he is. And he said at first it's kind of sucked because he would see that he was putting in all the effort. He was texting them. He always checked in on them. And then he stopped. He didn't hear from them.
Yeah, and that could be a tough thing, tough realization that you think you're really close to these people. And then you pull back a little bit to see, okay, let me see if they're going to kind of, keep this going. Maybe they'll reach out. And they don't.
Yeah, that sucks.
That is pretty tough.
There were some people that when he would do that, they would reach out to him and like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. I'm sorry. I've been busy. I've been a bad friend. I miss you. I hope all is well. And that shows them, hey, they truly value our relationship. So maybe that's some of you that need to take that and need to understand that, hey, what would happen if you stepped away from that friend for a little bit? If you weren't the one that always reached out?
I think this could go kind of either way. Obviously, we always picture that maybe they're being the bad friend. But at the same time, we could kind of be the bad friend as well.
Oh, that's a good point.
Maybe they're the one that's putting in all the effort.
Yeah.
And we're kind of pushing away. And we're not really checking in on them. And I think we should be the ones that, okay, I gotta put more effort in.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a really good point.
Because relationships they're two.
Takes 2 to tango.
Take 2 to tango. There you go. So, yeah, that's a good point. It's a tough battle, but you gotta realize who your true friends are, and it could be hard sometimes.
No, definitely. So I know you found a few verses for us. Do you mind sharing?
Yeah, when you were talking about choosing friends and stuff, there was a verse in Proverbs. It says the righteous choose their friends carefully,
Mm.
right? But the way of the wicked, I'm trying to remember because it's kind of trying to loose paraphrase it. If you choose the way of the wicked, it leads them astray.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I think that's really showing us that we have to be careful
yeah,
with choosing our friends.
yeah,
Um, because at a point they could look like, oh man, this guy seems like a really good guy.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like you said, those first couple, maybe weeks, months, maybe like the honeymoon phase, right? All of
Yeah,
a sudden,
yeah,
these are
yeah.
good people.
Green,
Green.
green.
But then
Maybe that
once,
should be the thing. Who is green and who isn't? Who can withstand the test?
that's right. Because once there's a little bit of pressure, like you said, they're green.
That's right.
In fact, they dip out.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. And there's another, and within like I think a chapter, so it's in Proverbs as well.
Mm-hmm.
It says, let me see, I think I have it on here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Walk with the wise, and become wise. For companion of fools suffer harm.
Mm.
And so it's like if you surround yourself with wise people, you're gonna most likely become wise, right?
Yeah.
But if you surround yourself with fools, you're most likely gonna become a fool.
That's right. Hang with dummies, become a dummy.
Yeah, you'll be a dummy, right?
I like that you brought that one. Proverbs 13. I think
Yeah.
that's found in chapter 13. Because at the end, that's something that sticks out that I don't think many people look at is, yes, walk with the wise, become wise. But the companion of fools will suffer harm.
Mm.
And I want to really, if you have your Bible with you right there, circle the suffer harm, because that you become a dummy.
Right.
But then that we see that becomes physical. You suffer harm.
Wow.
That maybe because who you're hanging around with could be that pain that you're feeling, that anxiety that you're feeling, and because they're starting to literally cause harm in your life. Why you feel behind in life, all of that. And God forbid, you actually physically get really banged up from them. So this shows who you hang out with has
major
it carries
impact.
a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So that's great. Thinking about that. Another thing I kind of want to talk about is, so in First Kings, there's a time where, just talking about Solomon from Proverbs. So now his son Rehoboam,
Okay.
he's just getting into leadership and become king over Israel. And so I'm going to hurry up. I'll summarize this story for us real quick because I think it's so important. And so he gets a group of people from the town that come up to him and they tell him, hey, your father Solomon worked us really hard and his yoke was really heavy. Lessen that yoke for us and don't be as harsh, and we will serve you forever. And he told them, give me a few days to think about this. And what does he do? He goes, and the first wise, because his father, right, Solomon. So he goes to the elders of his dad's time that were much older, that served with Solomon, for advice. And they told him, tell them, yes, my father was harsh to you guys. I will lessen it. And they told him, if you tell him that, they will serve you forever. He didn't like that advice. So where did he go? He went to his boys. He went to his compadres. And he asked them, what should I do? And they told him, all these people do, they just complain. So tell them, if you think my dad was bad, just wait to see what I can do to you. And this guy didn't even change up the words. This is what he told them when he went back. The exact same thing. So how do you think those people responded to him?
Yeah, that's bad. I think like what you're saying, they're his boys, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we filled with loud, where we want a group of friends that are all yes men,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
They want to tell you what you want to hear,
Not what you need.
not what you need, but what kind of makes you feel good.
Yep. And that's exactly
That's-
what they told him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he told that group of people, and they said, screw you, lack of better words.
Yeah.
And that caused division now in Israel. So what does that tell us?
And we got to surround ourselves with, wise people, and not just listen to things we want to hear, but maybe have those friends, right? Or that group of people that are going to tell us what we need to do, or, kind of challenge us, right?
Yeah, you got to be careful who you listen to.
Yeah.
Who are you getting advice from?
Yeah.
Who are you getting advice from right now? Who?
Hopefully us.
Who? Yeah, exactly. Hopefully us. But who is counseling you right now?
Yeah.
That gives a whole lot of wisdom just in that text.
Yeah.
To show really who are you listening to.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about exactly what you're saying. We need to surround ourselves with godly people, wise people. It may not be the people that we necessarily like or think is kind of weird in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But we see in Proverbs 17, or Proverbs 27:17, it states, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another.
Yeah, that's good. I think it just shows you that, if you have two, and like this example of like knives, right?
Yeah.
You have two sharp knives. They're going to sharpen each other.
You can't sharpen a dull with another dull.
No.
That's like the blind leading the blind.
Right.
Hey, bro, can you direct me, and how can I see that? Hey, show me the way. You can't even see the way.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, you definitely saw that. I try to do my best reenactment of trying to see the way. Show me the way. Anyways, but you can't sharpen something with two. You can't sharpen with dull knives. You're just going to be there and end up cutting yourself.
Yeah.
And another thing to look at, if it's one sharp knife with a dull knife, what happens?
You're going to become dull. You have two dull knives again.
You have two dull knives because eventually, yes, you may get a little sharp, but then eventually you're going to get tired. The effort you're putting in is going to waste. But what happens when you have two sharp knives? You start rubbing. You start doing it. It's easy. You start having sparks fly off. And you know what happens when sparks fly?
Fire's coming.
Fire's coming. Sparks fly. One thing may catch on fire here. Another thing may catch on fire there. Next thing you know, you have a whole breakout of fire just because of that one person who sharpens iron. So imagine if you're getting sharpened by multiple people.
Yeah.
What impact that could have.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem today. Not too many people are sharpening themselves or prioritizing that to think of how big of an impact a single spark can have.
Yeah, it's good.
So we see what it talks about in the Bible and how the importance of who you hang out with. So now where do we find these friends?
I think it seems like an obvious answer to say like church, right? Or like a church group.
Yeah.
And I'm just speaking from my experience.
Why are you laughing?
I'm just saying,
what?
I was kind of new to these church groups, right?
Yeah.
I've been in church, but I didn't really go to church groups. So I would go a couple times. And it was tough because you wanted to go better yourself, but some people are there a little interesting. And
Not all church people are weird.
No.
But real quick, remember that time where you came bowling with my church group and you said it felt like you were a chaperone for some kids? And I get it. At first, yes, it may be different, but ultimately you have to find people who are running the same race.
Yeah, you kind of, it's hard, but you got to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you got to surround yourself with people that are, like you said, they're running the same direction. and you guys want to motivate each other, right?
Yep.
And encourage each other to continue that race, because or not a race, the marathon.
It is.
So
And so think about this. You're trying to run that race. A good analogy is in sports, when you're trying to run and you're trying to get faster, oftentimes they'll put a resistant band on you. Now, how far can you get?
not too far. You
And
got to be pretty close.
It's a struggle. It's a
Yeah.
lot of effort. And so, just like that, in your race, you're trying to run, but you always have someone holding you back.
You always have some type of resistance.
It may be your homeboy that you had back in the day. It may be that friend that you knew, oh, we've been best friends forever.
Mm.
And you're trying to run. And that takes a lot more effort. And not everyone can go where you're going.
No. Kind of a funny side note about the resistance bands. There was one time Elijah and I were kind of working out, and he was doing that drill or whatever workout you were just saying with the band, and I was supposed to be holding him back with his little belt. Slipped out of my hand.
Yeah, and I was doing reverse pedals,
Yep.
so it wasn't from the back; it was from the front. And we'll just let you know where your imagination can show you where that ended up hitting.
Yeah, cup chip. But
yeah, exactly.
but sorry, I'll let you.
No, so it's a cool. Yeah, no, yeah, I think I'm still suffering from that.
Hey, hanging out with fools, you're gonna suffer.
Yeah, exactly. So to wrap this all up, really look at who you're spending your time with, because that will ultimately show you where you're heading and who you are.
And I think we can kind of also just add on to that. I think we can get caught up with wanting to have a lot of friends. We think that's kind of
obviously
the answer.
People want more friends because that's the popular people. Everyone must know me. Everyone must like me.
Right. But I remember hearing something. I don't know if it was on Instagram or what it was, but this guy said it shouldn't be how many friends you can like count up, right? But how many friends you can actually count on.
Yeah.
You know, like what friends do you truly have that are gonna have your back?
Yep.
Right, and be there with you in those tough patches. You know.
Yeah.
And that kind of reminds me of, I think it's Ecclesiastes, right? Ecclesiastes. It says if either it's talking about like a group, right?
Yeah.
Of two, and it says if either of them falls, one can help the other up, right? And it also goes to say, like pity the one who falls, but has no one to help pick him up. And I think that's important, that we need friends that are gonna help us up when we struggle.
Yeah.
You know,
we aren't just gonna be yes man.
No.
Yeah. No, that's so important. No, it's great.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's exactly what the Bible explains to us: is you need to really be cautious of who you spend your time with. Are they pointing you to the Lord, or are they pointing you a different way?
Yeah, because you become like the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah, and exactly like the great theologian Nipsey Hussle once said.
RP. Sorry.
Go ahead. I'll let you say it. How does the line go?
It says, "Circle got smaller. Not everybody can go."
It's probably right. He had some racks in the middle. And so exactly, not everyone can go. And so to finish off, really think of who you're spending time with. Are they lifting you up, or are they bringing you down? Because it's just simple physics. Think about someone at the end of a cliff and they fell and you're trying to hold them. What is easier to do? Is it easier for them to pull you down, or for you to have to pull them up?
We're going down together, huh?
Going down together. It's so much easier to pull someone down than to try to lift someone up. And maybe some of you have been trying to lift up too much that you can handle. Because ultimately, it's the Lord's job to fix them. Doesn't mean you have to kick them out of your life completely. Maybe you just have to love from a distance
Gotta kind of create some
and
separation.
create some separation, but keep on praying for them.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, show your light, even if it causes some people to get blinded by it.
Yeah.
So that's it for today, unless you have anything else to add.
Oh, I think that's about it.
I think that's pretty much it. So for some of you guys that are in that relationship that feel like you need a reason to end it, maybe this is your reason. That maybe they've been pulling you back for too long.
Mm.
And yes, you still can love them, but ultimately are they becoming and helping you become who you want to be? So that is a hard decision, but is one that needs to get made.
Yeah.
So hopefully by the end of this, you're able to see that you must navigate true friends from the crowd. So thank you guys for listening. Praying for you all. We love y'all, and we will see you
Next week.
next Sunday. Alrighty, guys. We'll see you later.
Peace.